Good morning, Twitch.tv. Good morning to YouTube as well. And, of course, good morning, Mini Motorways. Ordinarily, I would say let's dive in to today's daily challenge, but come on. It's a brand new mode. It's a brand new mode that everybody's super excited about. Let's go to Los Angeles and get a little creative, shall we? That's right, there is creative mode available in Mini Motorways. You can place buildings like you would any other upgrade. You click on a building to explore your editing options, and you may draw unlimited roads, placing unlimited upgrades. That's right, the power is in your hands as a player. All right, let's put, let's put a little yellow business right over here. Actually, hold on. Let's reorient that business like so. Maybe we want it to be red. Or a circle. Let's make it a red circle. We got a red circle right over here. If we got a red circle right over there, well, it naturally follows that we would want to, drag and drop a little red house. Or, can I make more of these by just clicking on them? We place that. And it exists. And now that it exists, can I move it? I don't know. Maybe it lives there forever. I doubt that it lives there forever. This is creative mode after all. We place another one of them. Right there. Do you have to change the color for all of these as you're placing them? I am discovering and learning things as we go. You'd think there would... Oh, down here in the bottom right. Down here in the bottom right, you have your natural default color. So if we want to say, actually, let's just do a whole bunch of reds. Hold on. Lock that toolbar. Let's just do a whole bunch of... Oh, so you click this and it rotates the wheel. Okay, I see. I understand. We're learning things. So we're going to place a house right here. Its name, of course, is House Revere. So we get a fourth red house going over here. But oh no, what's this? We have a double plaza. A double plaza right here has spawned with one of these being blue. All right, I'm going to level with y'all. I don't get it. Like, I've been watching the hype for creative mode, and I'm very happy that people are happy. I'm very happy for the folks at Dinosaur Polo Club. They appear, obviously, to have done a great deal of work with this. And there are people who wanted nothing more in life than to place houses and build their cities and have their perfect little sandboxes. And listen, we call it Ant Farmer sandbox mode. There are people who wanted nothing more than to construct their perfect little maps. I'm not one of those people. I don't know. It's not for me, but that's okay. That's okay. We're going to Munich for today's daily challenge. I get frustrated with the game when the game is mean, but also, that's the game. So we get double traffic lights and we'll start with 3 motorways. Or at least that's the game to me. For some, the game is just that. It's, designing little cities and putting your dudes on your map and having a grand old time. And to them I say, more power to you. To them I say congratulations. Creative mode exists. Have fun. Go. Do things. I saw a video on YouTube yesterday. A guy recreated an apparently famous roundabout in London, or Swindon, in the UK. That is just a series of 5 roundabouts that then feeds one central roundabout. And that seemed like fun. He seemed to enjoy himself building that. I was never a Lego child, if you couldn't tell. They're very much the same principles, I think. Oh, God. All right. You know what? Let's actually just run these light blues and oranges together for a little while. We do have this second light blue house right here. We'll run up here past the orange business and then go in that way. Take ourselves a roundabout. Might have been worth taking the 4 traffic lights, but honestly, we're going to take traffic lights one time, and that's going to be all we need to do with traffic lights for the rest of our natural lives. Or at least, today. It's going to be all we need to do with traffic lights today. There is, incidentally, a new game mode in a popular, in a popular video game that I have been playing the ever-loving hell out of recently, and that is Stadium mode in Overwatch. And oh boy, oh friends, Stadium Overwatch is concentrated Overwatch, and there are times when, like, listen, Overwatch is a beautiful, wonderful, incredibly fun, exceedingly dangerous thing. And Stadium is concentrated Overwatch. It's also like super massive, hyper expansive Overwatch to the point where, like, there are 85 new powers for things. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can get overwhelmed very easily. And in classic Blizzard Overwatch fashion, they don't do really jack shit of actually properly explaining things. They do a little bit to say, here are the rules. They say, have fun, and then they chuck your ass in the deep end. Fortunately, there are websites that exist on the internet that are like, here are some swimming tutorials. But there are also like, here are some floaties you can use. If you're just getting started with Stadium, we suggest you use these floaties until you know how to swim. This is a long and rather strained metaphor for the Stadium Builds website, but there's a website called Stadium Builds that gives you, wait for it, some builds you can use for Stadium. It's a good website. I use it a lot. I've also been having just generally a ton of fun in Stadium. The thing with Stadium is, like, there's a very limited roster of heroes because, Overwatch isn't, Blizzard isn't paying their devs anything, probably, but they're certainly not paying enough to suddenly have brand new toolkits for all something like 30 heroes there are now. Tangent, I fucking hate Venture. Just like, I'm just going to randomly throw shade at who I believe is, no, he's not the newest hero because Wu Yang just came out. I don't understand Wu Yang. I hate Venture. It's a very specific difference. I also don't fully understand Venture, but I hate Venture. Oh my god. I hate fighting Venture. I suppose I should be specific. I hate fighting Venture so fucking much. You may notice a developing theme is that I don't like it when I don't think things are fair. So, being an American lately is just lovely. Also, Venture, who can win by shooting the ground. Not fun. But hey, that was supposed to be a tangent, and it turned into a longer thing. We've got this purple business over here. I do have another bridge. Also, I gotta remember, I want to pave this central island. Let's go with pinks over to here. Kind of want to separate these. Yeah, I think what we're going to do, actually, is, well, first, we're going to toss this orange over here. Next, we're going to have these little dark purpley fellas come over here like so. They're going to do that. And then lastly, at least for now, we're going to draw motorway number 1 for these 3 light blues to swing over in this direction to get to this business. They're also, just for sake of efficientizing our motorways, going to take these white houses and bring them to that business as well. All right, let's take ourselves another roundabout. Pave a couple more squares on this island. So I've been having a lot of fun playing Stadium, and there are like a handful of heroes, and they've been promising that they're just going to add more with each season, like 2 or 3 each season, until eventually all of the heroes are in Stadium in roughly 2030. That'll be fine. Up until yesterday, which is when the new season dropped and a handful of new heroes hit Stadium. Up until yesterday, I have been having a boatload of fun playing Stadium as Ashe. And Ash is one of those heroes that I always wanted to play and was never really, really good with, because in order to be really, really good with Ash, you need to be able to, you know, shoot. And one of the things I can't do, just as a general skill issue, is, you know, shoot. But, and this is one of the lovely parts of Stadium, I thought, there are builds that you can take for your heroes that maximize some of your secondary abilities. For instance, Ash can chuck a stick of dynamite into a group of fuckers, let the dynamite explode, set all the fuckers on fire, charge up her ultimate, and then send in her giant attack robot to do the shooting for her and murder everyone. It's brilliant. It's beautiful. It's one of the things that drew me to Ash in the first place. And in Stadium, if you spec yourself out right, you can be hucking dynamite and leaving lava when the dynamite explodes and exploding in like double the size of the radius or something, and, you know, catching everyone in your fire. And every once in a while, just as like gravy, your gun does more damage to things that are on fire, and you click skulls and you win games and you kill people, and everyone has a grand old time, especially you and your team, which is what really matters. Well, there are some problems with Ash, as, you know, every well-designed character in a video game does have, you know, strengths and weaknesses, and Ash's weaknesses include that she's not terribly mobile, she's maybe the slowest non-tank character, or I certainly can't think of one who is slower. Quick tangent, what are we going to do about this pink business over here? I think we're going to draw this road like such. Swing down that away, boop, and boop. There we go. Incidentally, I was never a Lego child is title of the episode. Just occurred to me that I didn't have that document open, but now I do. All right, let's take ourselves a third motorway. Don't necessarily need to be precious about deploying those, which is good, because I think we might need one soon. Oh, hi. Oh, that's ucky. Not fans of that. All right. For right now, what let's do is this, and this might actually just work. We'll grab these pinks and run them up and over like so as to then integrate these blues in here. And now we have, well, serves me right for not waiting. Now we have 6 blue houses serving this blue business. This intersection right here is okay as it is, but you can probably tell it wants to be a perfectly cromulent traffic light. Like, one day in the near and blessed future, a totally fine signaling device shall be deployed in this area. So Ash is not terribly mobile. She's really slow and doesn't like... She's got a coach gun, which can, like, push enemies away from her, but that's about it. She doesn't have, like, a jump or a super speed or nothing, which is unfortunate. And another problem for Ash is that she's made out of tissue paper, which is to say she has roughly 9 hit points and doesn't have any way of really mitigating damage, and generally dies if anyone so much as looks at her in a overly cross manner, right? So when you're playing Ash, particularly in Stadium, but just in general, the thing you want to do is stay in the back, chuck dynamite at fuckers, try to click skulls, and don't get seen. If you do that well enough, you win. You do a bucket of damage, you set dudes on fire, and you chuck in your giant attack robot, and your giant attack robot kills everyone, and you win the video game, and you're good and fun, and therefore a reasonably worthwhile human being, right? So, incidentally, real quick, these white houses here can't really, well, they could really interact with this pink road here, but it would be sketchy. So what we're going to do is draw motorway number 3, just like so. And that's going to have these 4 white houses here, these 5 white houses here. These 5 white houses here are going to swing over here into this business there, all good things shall happen. Now, interestingly, hi, you exist now. Don't necessarily oppose that concept. Let's connect you two houses to this business right here. That means that these white houses don't need to jump over here and annoy these blue houses anymore, which is good. We've also got, well, we've got a minor issue in that we have this pink house here, which isn't really doing nothing. Let's get physical? No. Let's get moving into action? No. No, that's a Sky Sweetenham reference. Let's go over here. We'll have these 3 pink houses that had previously been serving this business instead serve this one. This purple business rather, shall be serviced in this manner, I think. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I'm overly complicating things. Let's do this. We're going to pull purples over to here. And then these purples will be the ones. Y'all go up there. You go clear that away. So the 1, 2, 3, 4 of you. There's a 4th hiding under the motorway. So the 1, 2, 3, 4 of you will wind up servicing this business. That should be fine. In all of the commotion here, we've left this business alone. But I can reclaim a bridge. Toss these pinks down this way. That'll be fine. And then we grab these 4 pinks here. Add in motorway number 4. And they do a little hop, skip, and a jump ski over this way. And now they service this business, and everything would have been totally fine if not for the newly added presence of this business right here. Okay, well, it was a beautiful moment, wasn't it? That, you know, that scant few seconds when it looked like we knew what we were doing. We'll always have the 30 seconds or so, we'll always have the 9 seconds or so when it looked like we knew what we were doing. And now, we don't. Alright, you come down here, going that away. I took traffic lights so that I could put a traffic light here and also a traffic light here. Now all of our intersections, well, the 2 intersections we had that needed traffic lights are now the beneficiary of traffic lights, which is wonderful. Ow, 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 ow. So Ash wants to stay in the back and chuck dynamite at things and generally not get jumped on. Because if you run around the back and you engage Ash in 1-to-1 handcuffs, punching combat, you're going to win, is the thing. Particularly against your friend the _Goog, because I'm not good under pressure or expectations or anything, but just in general. If you're one-on-one in a fist fight with Ash, you've gotten yourself into a very good position and are likely to win the encounter. So, I mentioned that not every hero in Overwatch is part of the... Oh, and another reason that I like this particular Ash build is that I can't shoot, right? That's like, I'm generally aware of the direction you're supposed to point the gun, and every once in a while, I'll click a skull and get a headshot and it'll feel nice or whatever. I'll get the little satisfying ding of like, hey, you did it good. But for the most part, generally speaking, I can't fucking shoot. I just can't shoot. We're starting to have a little bit of a problem with, well, life, but also this orange nonsense here. I think what we're going to do is decouple this square business from the road, and we're going to have these 7 orange houses fully dedicated to this orange circle. Then we're going to grab these 3 orange houses here, which had previously been doing nothing, draw motorway number 5. They shall service this square right here. That should be okay. Additionally, we've got some problems with other things. Hey, you know what? Let's do. First of all, I'm going to run this newly spawned pink directly over there. Second, I'm actually going to kill this traffic light and this lengthy road going off that away. These pinks right here, which have formed, are going to be the new houses in charge of servicing this business. And we'll grab these 4 pinks right here, draw motorway number 6 for them. They shall go over like that. Okay. So now these 4 pinks take a motorway over here into the northern end of this double plaza to serve this pink business. These 1, 2, 3, 4 pink houses right here hop over here. They solely focus on this square. That should be fine. You are a little white business. That is totally A-okay. You get some white houses to spawn in support of you right away, which is nice and good. These purples aren't particularly doing anything, but they're fine. These 4 whites down here service that. Okay. I'm still a little bit concerned-yacated about this white circle. No, not white circle, blue circle. I can do colors. I passed preschool, barely. Oh, boy. So, we've got... Well, I do have these 2 light blues right here. We can try to make something happen with that, but it seems a little sketchy. Speaking of seeming a little sketchy, this orange circle has not recovered as I hoped it might from the separation of powers or responsibilities that happened a few minutes ago. You remember when I built motorway number 5 and the idea was that it would make life easier for this orange road and by extension this orange circle? Yeah, that hasn't happened yet. But, you know, there was an important word in that sentence. We still have something resembling time. It could be parsley. I don't actually know what time looks like. I hope that was funny. Was that funny? Cooking people, was that funny? I think that was funny. Okay. All right. This blue circle is now in a crisis. Okay. Well, here's what let's do. We've got this purple road that goes up that way. Let's just chop. Do I want to chop or do I want to roundabout? I think I actually, well, I want to do both. I want to kill this traffic light. I want to bring you here. Can I sneak a rounded about anywhere into here? No. No, I most certainly... Well, certainly not anywhere good. But if we have the purples go off that away, we create a little blue spur road that does that. That's maybe not awful. That seems pretty awful, but, you know, it might not be awful. So we have a little blue spur road that does that. This, in turn, allows us to get 1, 2, 3 more of these blues servicing this blue circle, which is probably good. It seems like the kind of thing you'd want to do if you were building a city network that needed to support some colors. You know, maybe. We also just had these blues come into existence over here. Interesting. Ostensibly, some of you are supposed to serve this thing. I don't know that I love that. You know what? Let's take motorway number 1, peel these 3 blues here off of this, and we're going to double down on this particular nonsense right here. I'm going to turn this into a proper 90-degree angle. And the reason for that is that we come over here, drop that, and then that gives me space for this to be a perfectly cromulent traffic light. Something just got disconnected from my PC, and I have no idea what. So that's going to be fun. Let's take another bridge. You are another pink business, which is just fine. Like, we have so many pink houses over here, I don't particularly care about the presence and existence of another pink business. All right. This blue circle is fine. This is a purple business, which exists. It got mad very quickly, but we can run some purple houses to it. So Ash wants to stay in the back and toss dynamite and use Bob and click skulls and whatnot. Just yesterday, with the birth of a new season, Blizzard has added several new heroes to Stadium. And those heroes are Winston, whose whole deal is that he dives in the back and jumps on squishy motherfuckers. Brigitte, whose whole deal is that she dives in the back and jumps on squishy motherfuckers. And Farah, whose whole deal is that she flies in the sky and shoots rockets at fuckers, and the only real way to counter her is to be able to shoot. Would you believe that as someone playing a hero whose whole deal is you want to stand in the back and not get jumped on, and who can't fucking shoot, I had a bad time playing Stadium yesterday. Would you believe? Hold on. Bear with me here. Hear me out. It is a difficult time to be an Ash main who can't shoot. So Stadium's gonna be, functionally unplayable for at least a week or two. I'm gonna have to learn Soldier or shooting. Neither of those seems terribly likely, but speaking of things that don't seem terribly likely, these 5 orange houses don't seem terribly likely to keep up with the demands of these 2 orange businesses. Ow, my nose. Any longer than they have been. You 3 pinks go over to here. Oh boy. This pink can get on this road, go over here. This business is not the one that needs attention at the moment. These pinks are generally fine. Boy. I don't know what we can actually do about this is the issue. I don't really have any motorways. I don't really have any motorways I can spare. I could steal one of the houses that's currently servicing this orange business. That'll be a little bit more orange support. And, well, actually, I do have a couple more oranges here. They can run via lengthy bridge this way. I don't think that's going to actually solve anything, but, oh, hi. This... Yeah, you exist now. Alrighty. Let's point you south, and you come up with me. I think you're going to go in that way. See, the problem... Well, a problem. Okay, here's what we can do. So this is a frankly ridiculous number of white dudes. This frankly ridiculous number of white dudes is presently just taking motorway number 2 into the southern entrance of this double plaza. What if, in addition to those responsibilities, they came up here and went like that? All right, so this big clump of whites is going to be totally fine. This orange business, however, is doomed and screwed, and now we're dead. So, a shame. Curses and failure and misery and such. 2,305 commuters over 89 days. It seems like a decent score. We probably take that. Yeah, top 15% in the world. Not anywhere near as good as Samurai Sam, but not as good as Samurai Slam. That's not what I meant, but it's the same functional thing. Sad. Sad. Oh, God. Where did my Wordle box go? There did my Wordle box go. Hi there. So yes, bad times to be an Ashmain who can't shoot. Shoot, incidentally, is a terrible first word for Wordle. But we learned some things. There is a T and an O, and let's continue this double letter nonsense. It could be total. It's not, but, you know, all right. It could be toned, theoretically. It's not, but all right. It's not token because there's no N. Also, that's a 7-letter word, so it contains an L. South Park reference. It's not toner because that contains an N. It's not Tomy. Actually, it could be Tomy. You know, like unto an aged book. It's rather Tomy. No? Come on. Shame on you, Wordle. Shame. It could be... Well, it's not topaz because that contains an A, not an E. It could be Topher spelled even more stupidly than the already stupid name Topher. It could be a great many things. It could be Topeb. It's not, but you know. I'm a smoker. I'm a joker. I'm a midnight. No? Okay. Well, we've got an R there. So now the question just becomes what fits that X? Q not a word, W not, it could be tower. Could absolutely be tower. There's nothing saying it's not other than nothing, actually. It's tower. Tower is the word. The word is tower. We solved it in 5. Hooray! Yeah. It's not the button I meant to hit. That's the button I meant to hit. Then we navigate over to this tab and we do some guessing of time. All right. These gentlemen appear to be playing some football of some sort. This is Chelsea. I recognize their badge. You are... I don't remember, or I don't know what this is. If this is an advertising patch or if this is like a seasonal thing. I don't know who you're playing here. Do I recognize this winged thingy? No. I do know that the EPL season just started, so my guess would be somewhere in London in 2025, because I don't actually know where Chelsea plays. But I think Chelsea is one of the handful of Premier League teams that is in jolly London town. So, could be wrong about that. I'm fully prepared to be wrong about that. There could just be a city in England called Chelsea that has like a fair whack of people and therefore a football team, and their football team has a bunch of money and their football team has a bunch of good players and therefore their football team got to the Premier League. This is entirely possible. Not saying that's not the case. I'm just saying I don't know. So we're going to zoom into jolly London town and sort of find ourselves a soccer pitch that I don't know for a fact is someone else's soccer pitch. Wonder if I get points for calling it a pitch or if I get people mad at me for calling it soccer. Probably balances out. Would guess that it balances out. Chelsea aren't the ones who play at Goodison Park, are they? That's a wholly unrelated building that I happen to know the name of. All right, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Chelsea do not play at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I would think, and this is an uninformed opinion, I am an American, I would think that Tottenham Hotspur are likelier than Chelsea to play at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And I don't think this is Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur are like their color scheme is black, and they have a like spurred pinwheely thing as their crest. So again, do I get points for knowing that it's a crest and not a logo, or do I lose points for calling it a spurred pinwheely thingy? It probably balances out. Chelsea probably don't play at a cricket ground. Do they play at Thaden Boys? I don't think they play at Thaden Boys. They might be in Epping. Do Chelsea play in Epping? I don't think so. I think we're pretty far away from Jolly London Town at this point. There's Church Langley. There's Newground and Old Harlow. Sawbridgeworth. God, I love British place names. If not for the whole impending fascism and desperate need for acquisition of money of it all, I could easily just live in England forever. That would probably be good for me. Oh well. Let's see here. There's a Stansted Lodge in Elsenham, but ugly green. All right. So I appear to have lost the plot. We're a fair whack away from London. All right. Let's try again to find us a football stadium, and if we can't, we'll move on. Here's Kensington and Chelsea. Hey! Now we're in the area of London known as Chelsea. That is helpful. Presumably, somewhere in this general area, there's a football stadium. I mean, one would think. Are you at the sports court? Are you at the Physic Garden? You could be at the Physic Garden. You know what I don't see here in Chelsea is a football stadium, which is weird because you're Chelsea. You have rather a big deal of a... Okay. Well, we're just going to drop a pin at the sports court in Chelsea, and we're going to call that good. And we're going to assume that this is from the opening weekend of the season. It was. Hey, that's Crystal Palace. Okay. Also, they were just a few kilometers down the road. We got 9,900 points. Good job, Goog. Next. Friends, I think I have an idea as to where we might be. Don't quote me or nothing. But I think we might be in Brisbane. If we're not in Brisbane, we could be in St. Louis. But as to the when of this, wonderful question. It's generally an old-timey photo, making me think this might be the 19-dickities. The Aero Club of Saint Louis is a fine and proper thing for an organization of folk to be. There sure are a lot of them here. Generally, they appear to be the top-handed, foppish dandy sort. So, maybe even the 1920s is too recent for this. This could easily be 1919. Yeah, you know what? Let's go to St. Louis, Missouri. And it's generally... Ow, my eye. I'm not supposed to get whatever weird buildup accumulates in the corner of your eyes when you sleep in it. I just assume that that's fine and normal. And if that's not fine and normal, well, ow. Maybe I have eye cancer. That would be bad. I don't want eye cancer. That sounds painful. So we're somewhere in St. Louis. Is there a particular point where we could be more than anything else? Not really. Here, we're at the America's Center Convention Complex in 1919. It was, in fact, 1909. Alrighty. Oh, the 100th year of the city's incorporation. Okay, that's fine. That's reasonable. I understand. Next, we've got... Oh, this might be helpful. So, Vergara and Company. Oh, Sophia. She's got a company here. Good for her. So you are importers of something and tortillas and Barbados Cintas, Sedas y Novedades, something y compras. See us also in Paris and London. Okay. That's terribly helpful for Madrid. Where are we? Madrid? We could be in Madrid. E Bertolotti Maquinas Agricolas. I'm going with a Spanish accent rather than Italian. This could very easily be Italian. Glen Uruguay Agency? This doesn't seem like Uruguay to me. Of course, I could be wrong and probably a little racist about stuff, but Sinasco, Iclingo, no. Bateria Sexide doesn't help us terribly much. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking it's Spain. And if it's Spain, it's probably Madrid or Barcelona. Casa Ambrosia. Fábrica fundada on... Okay, so this place was founded in 18-something. Interesting. Good for you. These are some old-timey cars. So we're probably looking, again, 19 teens, maybe the 1920s. Would be very helpful if I could figure out any actual place names. The only place names I've found on this in this picture so far are London and Paris on the window. Yeah, on this here. And listen, I don't think we're in London or Paris, so that's not terribly helpful. Oh, God. What else do we have here? Casa de something. Yeah, okay. Barcelona, 1917. Let's go with that. Madrid. Go with your first instinct. Madrid, 1917. I'm going to be annoyed if this is Barcelona. I'm going to be more annoyed if this is Uruguay. This is Montevideo, Uruguay. God damn it. Okay. Hi there, Scandinavian flags. And like other flags. There's a US flag in there, and there's a British flag, and I think an Australian, so. Alright. But you know, these three here, these are three they're of Norway? Sweden. We're in Sweden, maybe. This is Agfa Film Camaro, Telefunken. Hey!
Cause I need a motorway, way. But I took a roundabout, bout. Here's an octo road. No 1B1R, 1B1R.
Thank you, Samurai Sam, resubscribing for 51 months, 4.25 years in the Goog troop for our dear friend Samurai Sam. That means that you can continue to drop all of the lovely tier 1 emotes, which we see right here. And again, the one that matters most today. You beat me in the daily challenge by a fair whack, buddy. It's not exactly surprising at this stage of the game. This appears to be somewhere in Sweden. I don't know. What in the hell is this? I love this. I want one for myself right now. Give me one of these that gets 50 miles to the gallon and actually has a little bit more trunk space, because I do need to carry some shit sometimes. But generally speaking, give me one of those and I would be happy. This is a very 70s bus, maybe a 60s bus, given the, like, it's strange to me to see this vehicle and this vehicle on the road at the same time. They don't seem to be contemporaries, but, you know, if this is an older 50s car and this is a newer, modern, late 60s car, okay, I guess I could see that. So we're going to say we're somewhere in Sweden in the 1960s? Sure. Somewhere Sweden, 1967. This one's Finland. I was zooming into Finland, but we can pivot to Sweden and go all Stockholm with shit. Get our Stockholm going. This is Stockholm, Sweden in 19 straight up 60. Hooray! Goodness and decency at video game for me. Lastly, we have either there are three possibilities here. 1, this is a giant. 2, this is a sculpture of a giant. 3, this is some neat angle photography going on here, where we got a foreground shot of a dude having himself a lounge, and way in the back there's like a boxing match happening. This is very neat photography. I guess it's possible that these are just... No, these aren't just tidies, because there's like people way over there. This is just neat angle. Well done, photographer. Good job. Doesn't really tell us where or when we are, but, you know, good job. So this is like a ruin of some sort. This is an Omega logo. So they're keeping time at this, what appears to be a ropeless boxing match. Okay. I can't make out any of this text. We've got a bunch of generally dudes wearing almost exclusively white. Some of them appear to have like sport coats. Yeah, these guys are in suits. But like this whole throng is basically just wearing white shirts. Okay. I think I was going to say Rome. And then I saw this guy's hat. And now I'm not certain. Yeah, I absolutely can't make out any of that. This could be... Can we tell anything from... Not really. Just having himself a laze. What do we got up here in terms of dudes on... Oh, I thought this was like a judging table or something. No, this just appears to be the cheap seats. Okay. I don't love the idea that this is Rome. If it's not Rome, it would be somewhere in the Middle East, like maybe like Iran or like Turkey. I could see this being Turkish. Can I tell anything from the... No, not really. There's no like inscription to go on here that I can see. If I was a person who recognized military uniforms, this would be very helpful. But I'm not. So... Eek. I don't feel good about this. I don't feel good about this in the least. This is Istanbul, 1944. Was Rome at the Olympics in 1960? Go with your gut. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it, and crap. 33,424. We're not paying any mind to this giant, enormous dashed line or nothing. We did bad. Oh well. For today's Immaculate Grid, we need Cubs and Twins and Brewers and Tigers and Dodgers and dudes what saved 30 games in a season. All right. A successful Chicago Cubs closer was Rod Beck. a Twins closer who achieved the 30 saves feat. Well, Joe Nathan definitely fits, but if I can remember, they had another guy more recently. Fuck it, Eddie Guardado. Eddie Guardado was a good closer for the Twins for a while. A Brewers closer who got him 30 saves in a season is Josh Hader. That happened, and then they traded him, and then they missed the playoffs, and then the guy who made that decision turned out to run the New York Mets, which, okay, fine. All right, let's see here. Let's name some other dudes. A dude who played for the Dodgers and the Twins is Scott Erickson, I think. I think Scott Erickson was a Dodger. Am I making that up? I might be making that up. Let's just hold our collective horses here for a moment. Dude who played for the... Oh, God, this is tough. This is actually annoyingly irksome. Boy. Dude who played for the Brewers and also the Dodgers is Homer Bush? No, not Homer Bush. I'm confusing him with someone else. Crud. Crud and failings. No, not Homer Bailey. I was thinking maybe, I'm not thinking of Orlando Hudson. God, no. That's very wrong. It's like a right-handed hitting second baseman of color, which I think does describe Homer Bush, but no, Homer Bush was a pitcher. I'm all confuzzled today. Maybe I was thinking of Orlando Hudson, which is weird because that's just Bill Hall. That's who I was thinking of. Now that I've realized who I was thinking of, I don't think Bill Hall played for the Dodgers. He did play for the Brewers, but no, I don't think Bill Hall played for the Dodgers. Dude who did play for the Dodgers and also, incidentally, the Chicago Cubs was Nick Punto? I think Nick Punto played for the Cubs? That feels vaguely correct, but only vaguely. Honestly, we're not getting it today, so we're just going to take shots at stuff. For instance, Nick Punto did not, in fact, play for the Cubs, and therefore he did not play for the Dodgers and the Cubs. So, now John Lester was a Cub, but he was neither Dodger nor Tiger. Derek Lowe was a Dodger, but he didn't play for the Brewers, Twins, or Cubs. John Lackey was a Cub, neither Tiger nor Dodger. David Price was a Tiger, neither Brewer, Twin, nor Cub. I'm just going to name all of the former Red Sox today, apparently. Adrian Gonzalez was a Dodger. Carl Crawford was a Dodger. Justin Masterson, I think, was a Cub, and I know was a Twin, but never played for the Tigers or Dodgers. Manny Ramirez, Pedro Martinez, both Dodgers. Neither of them fit anywhere else in this column. Francisco Liriano was a Twin. He didn't play for the Red Sox, but we've abandoned that bit. Brian Wilson was a Dodger. Ben Sheets was a Brewer. Bobby Higginson was a Tiger. Travis Fryman was a Tiger. What do you mean Justin Masterson was never a... Maybe it was just the Guardians. I thought he was on the Red Sox, and they traded him to the Guardians, and he had a lot of success there, and I thought after he left the Guardians, he went somewhere else, had a little bit of success, mostly sucked, and then went back to the Guardians and finished up his career. Is that not what happened? Maybe he went back to the Red Sox and finished up his career. Yeah, the Red Sox did bring Justin Masterson back at some point, didn't they? He was bad. I could just be making up facts. It's always possible that I'm just making up facts. I'm basically an AI. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, I'm ChatGoogPT. Oh, no. Oh. Oh. Oh, I've horrified myself. Oh. I've horrified myself. I had also given a title of the episode. Okay. Okay. Man, I don't know any of these fucking guys. Was Brian Wilson a Cub? I don't really think he was, but totally not a Cub. Derek Lowe, never a Cub. John Lackey, never a Dodger. Kerry Wood, a Dodger? No. Mark Pryor's the Dodgers pitching coach, but he never pitched for the Dodgers. He was a career Cub. So that's annoying. Was Brandon Inge a Twin? Was there a Brandon Twinge in our lives? I don't think so. I don't think that's correct. Did Bill Hall play for the Dodgers? I don't think he did, but he absolutely did not. Was Orlando Hudson a Twin? I think maybe he was. He totally was. Good job, Goog. You got one more. Nick Punto. Oh, Nick Punto fits the center square, doesn't he? Okay, well, too bad. I put Orlando Hudson there instead, which means I put a better baseball player than Nick Punto there. Oh, God. A Tiger who was also a Brewer is, man, I don't know. A Twin who was also a Tiger. No. A Tiger who was also a Brewer is... Chris Capuano. Chris Capuano was a Dodger and a Brewer. There's a fucking... How can I know with it? How can I pull these two guys out of my ass and not actually pull like anyone for any of these squares? Because we're not naming a single goddamn Detroit Tiger today. A dude who played for the Dodgers and the Cubs, not at the same time, that would have been against the rules, is... Fuck, I don't know. Kerry Wood didn't play for the Dodgers. I know Kerry Wood didn't play for the Dodgers. I'm not even going to type Kerry Wood, even though typing Kerry Wood would end this torment. I'm going to think of a dude who I don't know for certain doesn't fit. Okay. Played for the Dodgers. Also played for the Cubs. Or at least that I don't know for a fact didn't play for the Cubs. Kenny Lofton. Was Kenny Lofton a Dodger? I don't think so. But I don't know that. I could be wrong. Kenny Lofton played for a zillion teams, including the Dodgers. I wound up getting 6 of those. Jesus. Prince Fielder, Tiger Brewer. God, I'm stupid. God. I missed James Howard Thom. I missed the Zach Greinke button. Fuck Jack Morris. Javier Baez, Tiger, very famously was on the Cubs and then signed with the Tiger. God damn it, Goog. Sadness and failure. But here, admire the purity of my center column and ignore everything else around it. Okay? All right. Folks, that is going to do it for us here today on Good Morning Mini Motorways. The schedule is what it is. Yesterday, I just plumb slept too late and forgot to set an alarm and woke up at 7:40 and realized, oh crap, I was supposed to do Gim. And then I went from not having a job to having a job that lasted until 6:30, meaning that there was no energy or decency in my person left to do Cyberpunk. And the entire month of August is going to go by, unless we do one on Friday, which I don't expect we'll be able to. The entire month of August is going to go by without a Cyberpunk stream, and that's a problem. So we'll work on that. But in all likelihood, I'll be back tomorrow morning for another edition of Good Morning Mini Motorways. Until then, have a wonderful day, everybody. Goodbye.